Everyone keeps searching for the sermon, and nobody notices the grave is already open. We treat the moment of reckoning as something coming, something scheduled for a later date, a bill that will arrive after we have had more time to prepare. But the bill came years ago, and you signed for it at the door and went back inside anyway. The philosopher Albert Camus wrote that the absurd is not in the world, and it is not in man, but in the confrontation between human beings and the world's indifference to them. What this means is that the universe made no promise, and you have spent considerable energy collecting interest on a debt that was never issued. So you have been mourning the cancellation of a contract that nobody signed. A very intelligent person can construct a very beautiful prison and give you a guided tour of it, and never once call it what it is. The cell is real. The key is on the inside. The warden is you, and you hired yourself for the job. Staying miserable has a cost, and the cost compounds daily, and the math is not abstract. It is paid in actual years, actual relationships, actual mornings you spent rehearsing grievances instead of doing the one thing you already knew you needed to do. Friedrich Nietzsche was actually asking a different and darker question, which was whether a person is capable of willing their own life, every part of it, and saying yes to it completely. The question underneath that question was whether you are strong enough to own your choices or whether you need them to have been done to you. Because a choice you own demands a next choice, and victimhood, however genuinely earned, does not. The distinction is uncomfortable enough that most people live their entire lives without making it. The most dangerous moment in a person's life is not when everything falls apart. It is when they get comfortable describing why it fell apart. Because description is not reckoning, and the story you have refined over years until it shines is probably the thing standing exactly between you and the change you claim to want. The biggest wound is not the wound that life gives you, but the wound you give yourself by insisting on the wound, by reaching back into it when it has begun to close. And the cruelty of it is that it is entirely optional, and nobody can take it from you, because nobody but you is holding it. The grave is not your destination. Someone dug it in your direction and left the shovel leaning on the headstone, and you have been spending a lot of time reading the inscription, and in all of that, you have not yet noticed that your feet still work. Get up, not because you are ready, for readiness is a door that only opens from the other side. Not because the timing is right, for the timing will never be right. Get up the way a man gets up after a long surgery, confused about what year it is, uncertain of the room, legs that do not feel like his, because that is exactly what it feels like. And that feeling does not mean stop. That feeling is the body remembering it is still in the game. The grave is the only promise this world ever kept, and it was never an argument for waiting. It was always a reason to move.